It is massively hot outside, at least here in Ohio, and I mean jungle kind of hot. And we're going to talk about, what precautions to take while golfing in that heat next on What's in My Drawers Golf Talk. Welcome back to What's in My Drawers Golf Talk. Jim McCleary here. Why is it What's in My Drawers? Because old club makers and club fitters are tremendous pack rats, and I am no different. It's all about what's in my drawers over there in my golf shop. What's the channel about? So it's golf club repairs, reviews, and fittings. All so your scores can go low. If you would, and check this out, like and subscribe if you would. Like and subscribe. That way more of these, we get more followers, more information gets out there, and that's just how it works. All righty. So we got rid of that. All right, so we're talking about hot, right? Around here in the, it went from 70-degree kind of weather, nice, beautiful, maybe low 80, still decent. And then next thing you know, the very next day, it's 98 degrees and 10,000% humidity. And it's freaking miserable. I mean, it is. It's just miserable. And so you think, well, we'll wait. And then what happens is that after a day or two of this miserable hot weather, what happens? It gets rainy. And then when it gets rainy, what happens? The percentage of the humidity goes way up, and it's just as bad. It doesn't have any cooling effect. And that's kind of what we ran into this whole week. So 4th of July week. So number one, hopefully that you guys put down in here what you guys did for the 4th of July. We want to hear, did you go golfing? Did you barbecue? Did you sit inside? What did you do? Anyway, in the mornings for us, we had a place along our property that did not drain very well, and it would never recover because of raining every 3 days. So Mr. McGough and I tried to attack it with weed whackers. Well, my gas powered one wouldn't start, so we were hitting it with a battery one, of which I have a very heavy duty battery weed whacker. Good God, McCleary. Anyway, I went through 15 batteries in the span of 3 days and about 30 foot of string. Now, the reason being is because the stuff was at least 4 foot high. And so it took about 5 swacks before you can get through it and get down to where, it's manageable again. And then we have to rake away the dead grass that we had. And so it took 3 days, a couple hours in the morning before it got brutal. And then we had fittings and all that kind of stuff, except for the 4th and Sunday. And and all the time we go outside, man, it's hot. Oh, geez. And I went to try to get golf in the morning. I had golf scheduled for 6 o'clock in the morning. I thought, man, this is going to be perfect, until the rain came the night before and washed out a large chunk of a golf cart path, and they had to close the course down until sometime afternoon. Well, afternoon, it's 95 degrees again, and it's awful, and the golf course is wide open, and I am not a small guy, as you can tell, and I am not doing that. Well, all this time goes by, and I'm looking at the golf course being wide open from about 1 o'clock on for the last 3 days, and I finally couldn't take it, and I convinced Mrs. McGough to go out with me, and we did 9 holes. And it was 93 degrees and rising. And so we went there, and we went with liquid in hand. I took this. This is kind of cool. They handed this out at the PGA show. Icon from True Temper. If you guys don't remember, this is the Icon, the new grip from True Temper. It's their version of the Tour Velvet, and with different patterns. It's a little firmer in the back and a little softer in the front. And this guy, I didn't think I was going to like something that had a screw top and had something like this. The outside of this damn thing was extraordinarily warm because it's black, but the stuff on the inside was very, very cold. Now, what do you put in here? There lies the trick. Water works, Gatorade works, that kind of stuff. Certainly not stuff like this. Now, because alcohol just dehydrates you. Now, I'm not much of a drinker on the golf course for that very reason. I become ultra sweaty no matter what temperature is. I don't know why that is, but it happens to me. So you got to be careful of that. Plus, I went into the clubhouse and bought a couple of Gatorade and had it put on ice just in case. So about 2/3 of the way through, we were diving into that because it was getting hot. We were getting hot and sweaty, and we ended up getting rained on for a hole too. Ooh. I'll tell you what that is there in a minute, Charlie. So anyway, we went out there, and I'm just going to show you this is, and then what you got to do is you want to wear some light colors. There's me. I'm on hole number 7, and I'm trying to hit it underneath this tree that's here on the left of the picture, and it looks like it's trying to travel up, but that's probably the height of that particular shot. So there's a video coming probably tomorrow or the next day, and it's a what's in my bag, and I decided to do it from a playing perspective, and that was a 7-iron from about 120 yards. And what it was is that the course was so dry that everything was just running, and I had to get it underneath the tree. So I took about a half swing with that pitching wedge, or I'm sorry, that 7-iron, and I landed at about 10, 15 yards in front of that green, and it rolled all the way through that grass onto the green and stayed on the first cut on the backside of the green. So extraordinarily well played, to be sure, and luck of the Irish is on me. So anyway, when you get into this, wearing light colored outfits, certainly do that. I see a lot of people with darker outfits so they don't see you sweat. But dude, you're going to sweat, so just suck it up. And here's another shot of me. This is hitting a wedge. This was from about 70 yards out with a sand wedge, and there's me cocking it forward, but it landed pretty decent. And that's how I started out with it. So there you go. So the whole idea is take precautions, right? We used to sell the cooling towels that were kind of a chamois kind of thing, and you would wet them down. You could put them around your neck for quite some time, and they were called Cooling X towels, and they worked very, very well. And if you decided that start getting a little warm, you could always dunk it in that bucket of ice that you had and put it on, and it would keep you cool. Now I've done that, and it was 110 to 115 out one day, just massively hot. And normally I would be wilting just like a flower, but I had 2 of those. So I had one on while I was driving and one on while I was waiting on a swing, and I survived it. And actually I put it over my head. And everybody's making fun, but I was the only one that, when we got all done, I was the only one that was able to see straight. So, getting hot is really important. Only I can tell you this because I was at a high school reunion, and it was very hot out, and about hole 12 it hit me, and I didn't realize it. And the guys did, and they put me in their cart for like the last 4 holes, and all I remember is just wobbling around the course. And once you fall victim to that kind of stuff, you're more susceptible to it. And that's not what we want. We want to enjoy this game and take those precautions and get out in the extremes, right? I know some of you guys are polar bears like Matt and folk want to get out there, but this hot is just, it'll hurt you. And that's what I don't want for you guys. So, take the precautions, drink some water, take your Gatorade or something with the, the stuff that's in the Gatorade, whether you like Gatorade or not. We use there's a product we use at work. It's called Squincher, and you would pour it in there, and it would give you pour it in water and give you the same output. Very, very well used product. And then wear light clothing so that when you're in the sun, it doesn't absorb heat into your body, and then try and stay cool as much as you can. All righty, so we did enough of that. That was my public service announcement. We did do some work actually this week. We did a lot of fitting. We did fitting. Again, we had that 13-year-old girl last week, and she was quite the hitter of a ball. And this week we had another 13-year-old, is a young man, and he's a little shorter. and we worked with him very, 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 very much. And what we ended up doing was getting him into a. He had some Cobra Juniors, and and he was swinging. He was a shorter guy, so he needed to choke down. However, again, he was starting to swing a little bit more than the shaft would allow. So when we get into these junior sets, the junior sets are made for like a 10-year-old or something like that, and or even 10 to 12. When you get into 14, you start getting to the point where you can actually overrange a golf club. What I mean by that is that the golf becomes unreliable, much like if you were somebody that's swinging 110 mile an hour and you're very aggressive and they gave you a ladies flex, the control aspect of that golf club, everything created equal, would be very, very hard because you have no idea how it's going to kick, close, or any of that every single time. And that's what happens at this juncture. And so again, we fit him into some clubs that had a 50-gram shaft that was and it's still flexible by men's standard, but it was in that very high A range, and he started gaining his control, and it started coming back. And when you do that, you tend to hit a little bit further, and your confidence goes up. And that's kind of what we had with that. This last string of fittings, I did a lot of instruction in them this time around. Of course, I got asked, "Hey, do you give lessons?" Not anymore. And we talked about, and it was just simple stuff, which takes us back to, this fitting didn't do this or that. And this is the part of the fitting aspect of it where you have to be able to understand the swing, not just from a club perspective, but if you see the golfer doing something that's causing the issues, well, correct it, right? Just correct it. And that'll help open up all kinds of options for you and more selections, as opposed to just promoting more of the same defect. And so we did a lot of that. And some of it was grip, some of it was stance, some of it was most of it was stance, really. And then the way that you follow through. And it's funny because I don't have a club here. I'll just use my flight board. So what had happened is these guys are coming through, and this is the top of the face, and they were finishing and having the face like this. And I'm like, well, what's that? So when you come through and you finish here, when you come back, that the club is open like this. If this is the face, it's open at address, and they go flying away from you. And that's it, because you're trying to guide the ball down the fairway. And what I tell them is, you don't want it like that the top of the club, is the toe, but as much like the fingers in baseball, that you want them coming up like this, coming through. So it looks just like the face looks like this coming through, because when you come back, it's squared up at address. That was a big eye opener for a lot of people. And it's a common error, right? It's just a common error. And you just got to let and it's basically, if you let the physics of the golf club work for you, meaning that when you swing it back and forth, the club wants to go from an L to an L, L to an L, right? And just wants to go up and down, up and down. It's when we get in the way and we want to hold on to it. Now this happens, and now we got all this going on, and well, that doesn't belong in the swing. This does, right? And that's where we get to it. And once they hit 2 or 3 shots, all of a sudden success breeds, acceptance, and then there you are. And so we end up in better equipment after that. Okay, so we did that. 4th of July. 4th of July was stupid hot. We had some footers and sauce, typical American 4th of July celebration with Bob and Penny, and they were good. I'm going to have to say they were good footers. It's hard to find good footers out there, but these were ones we put them on the grill, and we put them on the grill on my my regular grill, and had some regular hot dog sauce from a local vendor. Stupid good stuff. Onions and some this bean concoction. They call it cowboy beans. Man, it was good too. And just set out back, and Mr. McGolf bought some extra fans so that we're blowing on it and was making the outside more tolerable, and we did that. But Yesterday, we cooked up a pork butt. That right there is what you see is quite possibly the best one I've ever made. And I'm going to call it my golfing butt because we were out on the course. We were out on the course, and I have the thermometers in there. It sends me a message about the grill and everything when it's cooking, and it said it got up to the temperature, and I didn't catch it until the second hole, and it got about 10 degrees above what my plan was, and then I turned it off from there, and it was on our way home. So when you turn it off, all the heat's still in there, and it's just coasting down, and it wants to get back into the meat. And when we got back home, man, oh man, it was right down the middle. It was delicious. And next day was just as even as good. And what it turned out to be, well, let's see if I can go back here and go get that because it was there. There it is. Ooh, we just heard a thunder boomer. Well, that is not it. I'm trying to download a picture, and I'm going to the picture, and I'm trying to add the file, and I add the file, and it wants to. Let's try that again. 328. Oh, here, we'll just try that one instead. See if it goes up here. Anyway, the thing tore putt very, very well, and it ended up looking like that. So there we go. Pork sandwich, a little coleslaw, and some chips, and some sweet hot pickles on the side. Can't go wrong with that. So that was the dinner. So there's my weekend for that. So we got some heat golfing in the heat, and we got the pork butt, and we made some golf clubs. So I call it a successful long weekend. Now I will say so. I ended up shooting a 41, and I tell you what, I had another epiphany because when the camera is on me, I tend to try to calm down a little bit. And when I did that and swung smoothly, man, I was just killing it, right? I was killing it. And I will say this before we start answering questions. That mini driver that I told you, I was like, well, I hit it pretty good in here. Well, I hit it pretty good when me and Bob were out there. I hit it even better yesterday. I hit a 240 shot going uphill into some stuff, and then I hit one a 280, 285 going downhill. Now I was downhill and got some roll. I got it, but this thing was when I said it was about 220 ish, it's 240, 250 off the tee, easy, just easy as can be. In fact, I hit one 250 on the camera, and I actually. I drew / hooked it. I drew it, and then it hit. And then because the ground was just so stinking hard, it started taking off. But it put me, it was a 340, 350 yard shot, and I was 92 yards in when off to the right, and it was going away. So if it would have went further, it's hard telling what it would have been. So I'm a big fan. I'm a huge fan, as a matter of fact. So there we go. Okay. Last thing is, again, if I know I mentioned it once before, but like and subscribe, and let's get this thing going on. And again, my little shameless plug I do have another channel, Pars and Pours, the Golf Centric Whiskey channel, and I've come up with an idea called the Ryder Cup, and we're going to be starting that very soon too. All right, let's answer some questions. Get all the way to the top. Here we go, Matt. Let's see. Look at that. He shot rounds of 68 and 76 last week. It's nice to get to play a lot in a short time. Well, there you go, right? So, and 68, that's coming up against what he's doing. Oh, the other thing is it's kind of warm in here, so I have a fan going. If you get a lot of crackling in the background, let me know, and I'll just go turn it off. I'm just trying to keep it warm in the room, or keep it cool in the room. Okay, question. How do you play a ball off the green against the rough? How do you play a ball off the green but up against the rough? Cheers. Well, I had one of those in this round that I was talking about. And I think it all depends on how much green you have to work with. You have to know that, in this particular case, I figured out very rapidly that the greens were running pretty fast. And so you didn't have to, land it near the hole. Matter of fact, you wanted to land it a little further away from the hole in order to make it go where you wanted it to be. And that happened to me. I was probably, when I was a foot off the green, another one I was 3 foot off the green, and another one I was probably 8 foot off the green. And it was all about where I was at because I had to pump one up high, land it soft. So that was a 60 degree, just trying to get it in. Another one was very, very close. So I hooded one down. I could have taken an 8-iron or a pitching wedge and just putted it on and got away with it. But I was feeling the wedges. So the wedges, I got into the, here we go. Let's see if I get that back. There we go. And then the other one was just basically get it out of the rough so you scoop it up. That's me. All right. All right. Manuel, what do you say, sir? Hello, Jim and Robin and the world-renowned fitters and builders. No good in recent past and next 2 weeks. I'm enjoying my builds, hoisting trophies by their owners. Thanks for the emails. You are more than welcome. And, he gave us a super sticker. Look at that. Thank you, buddy. Look at here. I got one for you as soon as I get back to the media. Look at here. Let's go back to this. Look at that. There you go. I can only do it once. It disappears on me for some reason. I just can't take it away. Oh, maybe I can. There we go. Okay. Well, thank you so very much, bud. And you're more than welcome. I'm trying to figure out what we were talking. I remember the golf grip one. Oh, it was the tip. So Manuel ran into a situation where the tip of the golf shaft went like this. It curved in and came back out. Kind of he said fluted. That's probably not a bad. I called it swage, and what to do. And we kind of talked through it, and so that's it. So very cool. Well done, sir. Hopefully that worked, because how's it not, right? There's Charlie. Matt, you're killing it with nice rounds. Not too bad, yes. I got to play managed rounds at 80 and 82. Not so good, not so bad. I'd say those are pretty doggone good, particularly for me. So that 9 holes was my first round since I played with Bob. And we went to the Old Kentucky home, and that's been 3 weeks now. 3 weeks. So here's a new one for you, Charlie. I got 2 of them. This one is called Jimmy Red. It's a North Carolina bourbon, and they have one that comes in this ceramic. It looks like an old moonshine jug, and it's supposedly really, really good. I've only seen it on TV, and the price may be prohibitive, but everybody says it's just wonderful stuff. The normal, and man, I'm telling you what, very, very sweet. And it drinks just like it. Now, in that one, I'd put 1 ice cube in it just to kind of water it down a little bit. Robin saying hello, and Charlie saying hello back. And there, look at that. We got all our hellos going. There's Charlie. So there we go with that one. There's Brad. He's made it in. Good for Brad. Thank you, sir. And there's John. Hello, everybody from Myrtle Beach. How hot is it down there, John? It's got to be massively hot. If it's hot up here, it's got to be hot down there. Mr. Jesse, how you doing? So here's one for you, Jesse. I was coming home and I was listening to a channel. I won't say what era it was from, but we'll see if you know the rest of the lyrics. Put a nickel in the Nickelodeon. All I want to do is be with you, and what's the next 3 words? Okay, there you go. There's a freaking there's a one heck of a choice. Let's see. Put a nickel in the Nickelodeon. All right, I'm done. All right, nice rounds. Manuel saying them. Yep. All righty. I did see Manuel had a guy. Do you have a guy that won? He did he get a hole in one? I think that was what it was, right? A hole in one, or did he win something? It's between you and PZ. PZ had a guy that did pretty good too, and he's been playing those those the hickory shafted league lately. There's Matt saying hello, 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 hello. Matt, that type of shot is played carefully. Yes, very much so. I've been known to run a few of them over and be 10 yards away after that. There we go. Uh-oh, Phil K. Hi, all. Very sad fourth weekend here in Texas. Austin drenched, basically unscathed. My son went to school in Kerrville, so we know it pretty well. Nice little town. Yes. So if you guys have been watching the TV and seeing this, was it Kerrville? Kerrville got hit with a flash flood. And being an emergency response, this gets my attention very rapidly. And this area that was in we'll say in a lowland, a flash flood area. And when they talk about flash floods, when you guys get this on your cell phones, radios, and you hear it, you need to take that seriously, particularly if you're in the area that's called for. That thing went from 0 to what? I think it was 38 feet in the span of half an hour. All right. They got 20 inches of rain, which is quite impressive to be sure. And it all filters into that one area. And it hurt some folks, right? It damaged a truckload of property, not to mention campers and all that stuff, and then took the lives of some children. So I'm just saying, and that's what Phil's talking about. And they've got some response folks in there, and hopefully they find everybody so they can get down to a closure. All right, hello, Manuel. Any rounds this week? I think he's recovering. Matt Revlock, it happened to me 4 times over the last 36 holes. I actually practiced it today. Well, apparently you've been doing okay with 68 and 70 rounds, 68 and scores of 70. Not bad, but that's how, I'll just tell you how I did it. Yep. Steven, hey all, he played 3 days in a row, 86, 82, 80. Got better as the day went on, so good deal. However, the 80 was what I considered to be a bad 80, had not one but 4 double bogeys on the back 9. Thankfully, I shot a career low on the first 9. Well, that's the tale of 2 sides, right? So he ran out with it. So that's pretty good. Oh, and you know what? I listened to the John Deere. I like the John Deere because of Jordan Spieth and how he, that launched his career. And now that it used to be that the guy would jump on a plane and he was going across the pond to go play in the Open. I hope the same is for the fellow that won this week. And the reason why I was going to lead with that is that there is hope for all of us, because the guy that won that tournament was considered one of the shortest hitters on the tour. Now, when we say short, right, we got to take that with a grain of salt, but 270 to 290-ish, so 280. But his iron game and his putting, were spot on, right? So it gives us some hope. So when they say, you got to hit it far in order to score well, that's true. However, there's other ways to get around that course, and he's a multiple winner on the course just this year, on the tour this year. There's Krista. We were wondering what happened to you, buddy, and it's rainy, huh? Well, hopefully Sweden drains very, very well. On the way home today, I was listening to Ludwig Ardbeg. I'm going to say, hopefully I said his last name correctly. His golf instructor was on, and he was talking to him from Sweden. So, and they said, hey, we got to get him on here because he wants to go to bed. And it would have made it about 10 or 11. So Krister's doing well by staying up this late with the rest of us. Hot in Fort Worth. I have no doubt in my mind that it is hot down in Texas. Man, yeah. I hope you guys are staying okay with that. Plenty of water, great towel, no expectations. Hey, you know what? That's kind of how I played it, and I ended up golfing pretty doggone good, at least for me. I'll take it. I'll take it all. There's Miss McGolf. We think we missed you last week. We did. Charlie's saying they're under a heat advisory as well. Not a usual happenstance in New England. No. And you know what? And we were just talking about that again as well. You know, the folks in Florida, even it gets even hot for them, right? And they're used to the hot weather, but even those guys get, you know, they can get overcome with it too. Even of course, it's full of old folk. We know that. But even those guys, in fact, a guy that's in my group, he has a place down there, spent the last couple of weeks, and you know, mentioned that it was getting quite rather warm down there, and you know, you're either in the pool or you're in the house. So and they're used to it. So you get up into New England where you know the average temperature is probably running in the 70s, you know, and or lower on the yearly average. You know, when we're sitting here at 32 or at 40 and going, wow, it's pretty cold, and they're up there in minus degree temperatures, and they're going, that's what it is. You know, so you got to take that into account. All right, and at G27, he or she is with us now. And Charlie beat us to it. We missed you. What's new in the bag? Let's hear about them Orca irons, buddy. Please hit thumbs up, please. Hotlanta, yeah, 97. Whoo, man! You know what? I'd have to live there several years before I could even get used to something like that. Been watching for a couple of months. Jim has helped me out a bunch. Well, I'm glad to hear it, man. If you got any questions, throw them out there. Rodney Shelby, here's a new name. I went to the John Deere in Iowa, the golf tournament in Iowa, July 4th week. Well, nice. Where'd you go in Iowa? We like we lived in Cedar Rapids for quite some time. My dad's family is all from the western side of the state. But the John Deere, you know, when you're in Illinois that far, you're really not too far from Iowa anyway. Very good for you. We always just say, hey, you know, weather in Iowa, give it a minute, it'll change. Yep, Rob saying thanks. And hi, Rodney. 4th of July, Charlie played golf early in the morning, yes, and finished by 7:45. Charlie, that is freaking outstanding. What time did you get started? 5? That's pretty damn good. And walking. Man, oh man. Now, I would do that too, Charlie. If I could they have 6 o'clock tee times, and if I can ever gather up a 6 o'clock tee time, I can bet you $1 I'm in, right? Just to avoid all that. And the fact that you walk, that's pretty damn good too. Around here, there's no way. The sheer amount of hills would kill me. Yep, Matt saying that's awesome. Says, my pleasure, no rounds, Charles. I got a little health issue I'm dealing with. Yep, I'm looking at getting back next week. We hope. I saw what you sent, Emmanuel. Hopefully everything works out. We are looking out for you, man. Just got another thunderclapper. There we go. All righty. He walks all the time. Ooh-wee. That's how come Charlie stays so thin. Get well soon, Emmanuel. No doubt. That's awesome. So we got the whole group chanting for you, Emmanuel, for getting better. No. No, it didn't. I thought about it for a moment, and I thought, are you kidding me? If this was full of bourbon, I wouldn't be able to see straight after, halfway through the first 9 holes. There's no way. No way. I did fill it full of water, though. It was kind of a test run for this guy. I just thought the wording on the way that they had this on here was really cool. And it's got that, it's not painted on. It's almost like it's been heat shrunk on there or something. It's got that kind of velvety texture to it. No, Charlie, but she had wine slushies in mine. I wasn't driving or golfing. She did, but we ended up putting some Gatorade in there with her too, and that kind of helped her out. Thanks, guys. We'll see the test results and move forward from there. Exactly correct, sir. Was there any? Not even. Steven, you must have teed off before 6. We teed off at 6:50 all 3 days and got hit by humidity on the back 9. We've done that. I've done that in the past too, where since I wear glasses, where you get going and the sun starts coming up and the humidity starts coming out, and you just fog up everywhere. It's crazy. 5 a.m. Charlie, that is crazy. Pardon me. Is it light at 5 a.m.? On the East Coast, I would imagine it is. That's like our 6 o'clock. Well, even though we're on Eastern time like he is, but his Eastern's a little different than our Eastern. Charlie, I wish I would let us tee off earlier, but my course is one of the few that have tee times that before 7. Okay, cool. All right, here we go. Just wanting your opinion on old school. Adams Hybrids just picked up a V3 hybrid with a Basara and a Stiff Flex. Got them Wednesday. Got a hell of a deal, $30 each. So the cool part about that is that as far as hybrids go, at least for the longest while, back when Adams was Adams, that's all they were known for. They were the hybrid machine, and it was funny because they were like the only hybrids I really couldn't hit. Pardon me. And you know what? I've had just about enough of that. And I don't know if there's something about the toe box, the way that they interacted with the turf. But lots and lots and lots and lots of people absolutely destroyed those clubs. They just hit the crud out of them. And the V3s are actually probably one of their better ones. So, yeah, you did all right. You can go out there and hit them and have some fun. I bet you'll find out that short of some technology, that you're not going to be too far off the pace with those versus the other ones. Ron, as soon as I can see our golf balls, we're teeing off, and sometimes a little before, have to look for our golf balls in the first fairway. That's when you got to have them bright yellow ones, Charlie, or even the bright green ones or the bright red ones, and then you can switch them out on the next tee box. Sally has a neck fan. She loves it. Wanted a charity scramble. That's good. We took some neck fans to the Clay Walker concert, and it was warm there too. And they fit Robin real good. They didn't fit me. Neck fans work really good when they can sit here and blow. Well, mine sit like right there because I got such a big neck. So what I did is I just held them and let them blow on me for a little bit and then sat them down. But they have place. They just don't have a place for me. Robin, here in Tennessee, there is just a lot of dew on the ground, so we have to have waterproof shoes. I've been there with that one too. And you walk out and the worst part about it, Stephen, is even when you get out into the dew and it gets inside your shoes, you think, the heat will come through and no problem, and it'll go away, and it never does. It just stays wet the whole entire time. We repair green fees after we're finished. Oh, you're in a good place where they know you. Otherwise, at places where I'm at, they'd come track you down. There's Robin Talk. Picked 2 of them up before we went to Clay Walker. There you go. So wasn't lying much. Okay. It's easier to play in the cold than the hot. I agree, Jim. Well, yeah, you're the epitome of the polar bear, dude, and more power to you. I guess I'm just fair weathered because I'm inside all day. And there's Charlie agreeing with him, Mr. Northeastern guy. Matt, as long as it gets into the 30s and the wind isn't blowing, Steven's in for it. All right, here we go. The report from Krister. Charlie, I had a lot of work to do before vacation. I bought new irons. It's the Swedish brand named One Swing, not One Length Club. I use the CB counter. That would be either counterbalance or cavity back. A JPX tour-like model with a very, very little offset. Okay. I thought you were getting those Orcas. But a One Swing Swedish brand. Okay. Now we just need to know how you hit them. I've hit golf balls at the North Pole. A good day there is 40 below. Ha ha ha. You're one of those guys. Okay. Our boat actually went up there several times. In fact, the guy that traversed the Admiral that got up in there, the boat surfaced on the birth date of that particular time frame, and they got to walk on the ice cap for a little bit. Played 27 degrees. Cold is cold. I love playing in the cold, but not the cold. Yeah, no doubt. 27 degrees? Nah. I've played in 30. My lowest has been 32, and we did it while we were in North Carolina, if you can imagine that. It was in the middle of March, or the very beginning of March, and just cold. And the wind was blowing, had all the layers on, and we pressed it around. And they got back. Anybody want to go outside? I was like, hell no, man! I'm taking a hot shower, and I'm going to sit here next to the beer, and let's get some food. All right. There's the next question. What did we put in him? Let's see what he did here. I played in the 20s as well. Lots of layers. Yeah. Ooh-wee. Let's see. Charlie, he put KBS Tour Light X's in hard stepped once. So the KBS Tour Light is kind of a misnomer. Yes, it's lighter, but it's not light like most people would think light. Now this Charlie is from Augusta. This was at their Kentucky Bourbon Festival stuff. That one runs hot. Woo! Brown sugary, but hot. Yes. Here's what Peter said. Let's see. Hello from Myrtle Beach. Not much golf this weekend. Golf was just for the ducks. Made a drunken whole chicken out. Came out tender and juicy. Well, there you go. Very cool. Golf was just, it means it got a lot of rain. And that makes sense down there. It does sound good, doesn't it? I know, right? This RecTech thing has a computer in it and has two probes, and you can set the temperatures you want on it and the temperature of the grill, and you can't just automatically turn it on. That's the only real problem. And I guess that's probably safe in case you accidentally get to the app and turn it on, but you can do everything else once it's on. It gives some cooking instructions and tips and tricks and that kind of stuff, and then it tracks your number of cooks and the times and stuff like that. And it's got me ranked. I'm ranked, I think they said, what is it? I'm ranked 2,700th in the number of cooks I've got. So, hey, these guys must be leaning on that thing about every doggone day in order to get above that, or there's just a lot of people cooking. I'd venture a guess that they'd have to, if they combined all my grills, I might move up a little bit. See, this Charlie, it's nice knowing the temp and being able to turn it off and not being able to go to the grill. Yes, it was. It was really kind of cool. I'm going down the road, turning it off and come back, and it was perfect. The grill was actually still very warm. It was the perfect way to cool down a barbecue. As far as when they talk about resting your cook, oh yeah, it was perfect. Except for the new irons, he got a back strike. Third time he's had it. Same one or just a different one, the same kind? And he likes it a lot. The back strike, that's that one that mounts in the back and allows you to pull through. That was kind of one of the very first versions of that zero torque to an extent. What shaft you use in the 285? Now, Charlie, keep in mind, downhill. All right, downhill shot. That's the reason why it went that far. There's no way in God's green earth I would have hit it. I did hit it good, to be sure. But I got a lot of help from Mother Nature and the topography of the ground. But it's got the Denali. It's the Elite 11 degree with the Denali 60 gram S in it. And it's funny because when I was swinging, and I don't feel that I'm an aggressive swinger, and I can feel the shaft unloading at the right spot at the bottom. Now, it could have been temperature, could have been my imagination, and I actually, like I said, I got a couple turning to my inside, which that's not something I do. It's either a pull or it's a push. This curving thing is just something new. But what it told me is that I was hitting it like this versus hitting it like that, and that's the difference. And once and the whole reason why I figured it out is because Robin took a picture and it showed, and here I am. I'm like this, fully extended, and I'm on my back, and I'm like, well, no wonder I can't hit my driver. And in order to keep going through, and as soon as I pushed my turn going forward, man. Whole different ball game. I know I like the mini driver because he hit it well and didn't get mad. That's a fact. I hit that driver and it was pathetic. I topped two of them, didn't hit one very far. I mean, it's all about hitting it well, and I just could not do it. And so I got to get back into that. There we go. Shot a 75 with only irons. What's your putter? Well, dude, I mean, hey, if you're doing it like that, you could psych out your competition by doing that. And they were like, how do we beat this guy when he doesn't bring in a driver or his hybrids? Man, I'd do that all day. If I could shoot a 75 without it, you'd never see a driver in my bag. Nice rounds, he says. I agree. I agree completely. Mom saying good job. There's Mr. Geiger. Recently removed a ping adapter, and when torching it, some of the Tour ADDI tip unraveled. I dipped it in epoxy, sanded it down, and put a new adapter on it. Is it okay? It's good so far. Okay, so here's the thing. It depends on how it unraveled. Okay, if you have when you have an adapter, and I've got a video on it. If you guys really want to see it, I wish I could go into this video right up in here. But removing an adapter, you really have to pull it apart like that. Okay, and that saves the epoxy bond in the graphite. All right, now if you take it and you're pulling it on it and you're going like this to pull it out, you're asking for catastrophe, because the way that they make a graphite shaft is the strands of graphite go in different directions, and they're very, very small pieces of graphite with even smaller layers of epoxy to keep them together. Okay. And when you have done that, that means that you have broken the epoxy bond between the graphite layers. Now, what you did by dipping it in another kind of epoxy and they went back together, that in my mind's eye, honestly, that doesn't sound like a bad move, okay? Because you're trying to put them back. Now, did they go back as prescribed? I don't know, but hey, it's worth the shot, and we'll see. Now, when you sand it down and put it in a timeless adapter, the real question I would have, and I play it to failure, right? Play it to failure and see what happens. My biggest concern is not so much that outer layer of graphite, because these shafts are pretty stout. The AD is an extraordinarily good shaft with very good high quality pieces of graphite in it. All right, the Toray and there's another one. There's two toys, and then there's another one. It's very close to the same spot where the graphite comes from. But when you put the epoxy on it, when you sand it down, hopefully that it was rough enough so that when you go to epoxy it back into the adapter, that both sides had something to grab onto. That would be my only concern. So, hey, well done. We might figure out a new way of fixing things. Yep, Charlie saying thanks. There's George JFW. What do you say, man? What's up? I don't know. We're going to find out. Matt says, Krister, how do you like that putter, the backstrike? Matt's hunting. He says, thanks. Oh, we got a new one here. Max Wired. Michael in Wisconsin. After about a kidney stones and sepsis. Dude, that, kidney stones are bad enough, and you throw the sepsis on it. Good gravy. My advice via Mayo Clinic, start drinking electrolyte powder in room temperature water 2 hours before your tea time. Sip it at room temperature. There we go. So we got proof positive. That's what, to help with right there. And Wisconsin's another cool state. So getting up, my sister's up there. Huh? Oh, okay. And when we get, my sister's up there, and she's in the middle of heat watching her daughter play softball and her son play lacrosse. So, yeah, she's not having much of it either. There we go. Hello, Matt. I like it. It rolls the ball pretty good. There you go. Matt says he's been looking for a new one. Norm says, how are you feeling? Have you played the irons yet? What we did for Michael is he liked the set of the the Wilson Dynaforged with the same shaft I had. We're very similar, he says, and so hopefully he likes them. Found it at Golf Bidder. I think probably Krister's probably got himself like a trophy at one of the best customers at that place. I'm always kept looking at that Ping A1. Oh, cool. John C., I don't know if I said hi. Oh, he's saying hello. There's Herman. It's been a while. What do you say, bud? Check out Callaway Pre-Owned. There's another one. Yeah. And if you're liking those particular items and you're looking at it, at your rate you're going, maybe somebody's turned in one of those zero torque putters. That might be something you'd like. Hello, Herman. Thanks, Robin. Also, Second Swing Golf. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily. Look at that. Jesse's got it for the goal. And music, music, music. Yes, sir. That was one of them. And you know what? The funny part is, I remember my mom and dad playing that on the radio or on the Victor, not the Victrola, but the Victor, because the Victrola was the crank one, which we had one of those as well. And she had it. My mom had it on a record. Well done, Mr. Jesse. He won the club championship. That's what it was. Have a junior champ defending his championship tomorrow. I think I love as much as breaking 80. I would 100% agree. I was over the moon. We had a mid-amateur, and he went to the very finals and played. I was walking around with my chest out for a week, and nobody knew why. And that's so cool to be able to say that people are out there playing your stuff like that. H20 doesn't absorb as well. Have the cold for the course and sip it via Mayo Docs. Drink it at least a liter of water per round. There you go. I wouldn't disagree with that at all. Herman, he sits inside Los Angeles as a war zone until 3 a.m. Constant explosions, not fun at all. Too noisy. I watch till Twilight Zone. Watch Twilight Zone marathons. I hate that for Los Angeles too, because I visited there once before all that garbage happened, and yes, it was very busy, and yes, it's not my style, but at least it was nice, and you can walk around and not worry about your welfare. I'm sorry to see that for you, Herman, and hopefully they get that thing settled out. Oh, I feel okay on a lighter note. The Mizuno head showed up today, and the shaft should be coming in today. Also, looking forward to hitting it. Well, very good, bud. I'd like to know. And send a picture, and I'll put it up here. Brian Campbell. Yep, that's the one. I think, hey, the dude's got a monster iron swing. That last when he did it on that, in fact, what did he do? He won both of his tournaments in playoffs, and Emilio Grillo was playing lights out until that very last one. Yeah, I know. Okay. Fun to watch. He won in Mexico as well. Yes, that was the other one. All right, I'm on directions from Mrs. McGolf, our marketeer. So Phil bought one of the Mizuno driver heads from us, and he's getting ready to shaft it up. If you guys are still interested, we still got a couple left out there. Just give her a holler, and she can tell you what we've got. So we're doing that because Mizuno. So it's not that they're not good. Okay, what it is Mizuno is retiring this line, and they don't take anything back, and they're very very specific on what you can do with these golf clubs while they're in play. Well, the insta second that they say that they're retired, they're no longer in play, and we can do anything we damn well please with them. They don't like them when we sell them like this, but if they're not going to help us, then that's what we're doing. And we're and Phil can put them together, so we're good with that. So it's not like they're demos like some of the other ones I've got, but these are brand spanking new with a head cover. All right, back to it. John says the temps were in the high 80s today, but 100% humidity, so index was around 100. Aerating the golf course last week and this week, front nine this week and back. Okay. Man, that makes, well, you know what? In this particular part of the year, you're probably not getting a whole lot of guff from the members or whatnot, because who wants to play in this stuff? Up here, where the course that Bob works at, of course, they killed their fairways and they reseeded them with bent grass, and they're starting to see the benefits from their patience. And this is a crawling grass, and they're starting to roll them now, and it went from being all dirt with it looked like little weeds popping out of it to now the fairways are starting to look a little bit green. But they're not ready quite yet, but they're getting mighty close. All righty. Thanks, Phil. Won't have to track. Very good. George W. says, have you ever done a virtual bag audit? I am contemplating some equipment changes, and I have no access to a decent fitter. Well, it's funny you say that. I've only done 2 in my whole time, and I'm doing one right now for a person in Canada. But he gave me information overload so that I could present at least a calculated guess. And again, George, this is what it's going to be, is a calculated guess on some stuff. And we could do a little bit of that with some information. I can give you as close as I can, but I'll take no credit if you do very well with it, and I'll take no credit if you do very bad with it as well. But if you send me some particulars, swing speed, tempos, distances that you normally hit certain clubs, glove size, and the way that you get into the turf, that kind of stuff, then I can certainly get you very, very close. About golfing in the hot sun, I will wear sleeves to protect, and as sweat, they're actually cooling. Oh yeah, those arm deals. I was always wondering about those, if whether or not they were did what they said they're doing. I see a lot of them on the LPGA, and they seems to be doing them pretty good. So I'm glad to hear somebody's doing that. All right, Jesse says, you have convinced me so that I have ordered a mini driver as a suggestion from a friend. I will trade it for a 3-wood, which I find hard to hit anyway. You will not regret it, sir. And now I will say this. They got a 12 degree. Don't be afraid to get the 12 degree with the R-Flex in it. And because you can always adjust it down a little bit. But I've got mine's at 11. And I normally play the 10, 10.5, so a half a degree is not killing me. The idea is getting it up into the air. Again, I convinced Bob as well. Bob has got one, and he's got the 12 degree and the R-Flex, and he absolutely smokes this thing. And not only that, but as soon as the ball gets close to that 3-wood range, he pulls that thing out and hits it clean off the deck as well. All righty. Didn't get the Orca irons. They were out of stock in the whole of Europe. Wow. Okay. They compete against the Tacomos. All right. Out of stock. It's funny. I just saw Alex just said he was looking for distributors in a lot of the area. So that you might have as much as you go through the golf clubs, maybe you want to check into that. They are very nice. Alex is a very nice guy too. But don't ever give away the boat with him. Rodney, my brother lives in Quad Cities. Oh, all right, I know exactly where that's at. So I visit every summer from Florida and go to the John Deere tournament. I did follow the winter. He was on fire. Yep, Quad Cities, we go through that on the way because we live in Ohio. We'll go up and we'll get to Peoria and we'll go up to Quad Cities and then we go over. We tend to run through Cedar Rapids or go right by Cedar Rapids, Iowa City. Nice little area. I like that place. And he was doing pretty good, wasn't he? The guy was just lights out, basically. And when it counted, he actually threw one down the middle. So, I mean, that's what you call, we'll call it grit. A lot of grit. Here is the irons I got. I don't know. Oh, here we go. 629 USD. I don't know if you can put pictures in here or not. You might have to put in a link. Robin, one range session developed sepsis and ended hitting the ER instead of the balls. Oh my God. Dude, we got 2 now. We got to send out notes for 2. We got one for Michael and we got one for Emmanuel. So if you guys are of that nature, put them in your prayers to get well, right? Recover. Good news only. Good news only. Was hoping you're feeling better. So Herman, I game the Elite 11 degree. They got 11 and 13. The 11 normally comes in the stiff. 13 comes in the R, and it has the Denali 60S in it. And it's a stock setup. I haven't changed the grip or anything, which I probably should do in the near future. But I'm not messing with it while it's working really well. And that's what I'm using. Now, I know there's a TaylorMade one out there. Is there a Titleist out there? I think there might be a Titleist out there. And that's about it. But I'm telling you what, I'm happy as a clam with it. It's literally the same technology in a smaller package. And oh, by the way, I would be remiss. I would be remiss if you're in an area where you have to order it. We can hook you right up, man. All right, remote controlled swing. There you go. My dog Rex is in there saying hit the thumbs up. Appreciate it, sir. Robin saying thank you. Krista, remote controlled swing. Yes. There's RS. We say I need a remote for my wife. Oh, we're getting in there. We're getting in there. And I thought you were going to tell us that it was a Shogun shaft. No, that's in the driver, unfortunately. I want it to work so well, And I think that's it's causing me grief, is that I'm a victim of knowing what I've got, and as opposed to just going out and hitting it. But after seeing that picture, I know what I have to work on, and hopefully the driver comes back and I can use like Peter Finch did. Now, I tell you what, we got to give a nod to Peter Finch, for he qualified and it got past his qualifying round, and he carried a regular driver and the mini driver. Now, this is a guy that punches it out, 300 out there, and that mini driver just goes a little shorter for him. How that happens, I don't know, but he used them both very, very well. He knew exactly what he was doing when he was playing both. So, yep, he can carry them both. RST, no doubt, right? Even Robin said that. Man, hoping you're fourth. Nice long weekend. We did. We had a really nice long weekend. It was funny. We got back to work at my other place. I never seen so many people in low gear from a long weekend in my whole life. These are guys, 20 guys of the same stature as mine, and we're all talking about stuff, and they're all like, "Oh my God," and they're just they're soldiering through. But wow, normally you come back and you're like, "Yay, I'm all good to go," and these guys are like, "Wow, maybe I need another day just to relax." There you go. All right. Who sang the song? Charlie, you've been Googling it again? Is Robin coming to turn the lights out on us? It's only been 6 minutes. We got a little bit of time. All righty. Says, I watched Golf Instruction on YouTube by Claude Harmon III. He's not too bad about getting your right side if you're left-handed on driving the ball. I highly recommend it. Yes, that's basically what it is. And what I found out is that I've got this move off the ball. I move off the ball just a little bit, and it's like my trigger, just like Sam Snead was waggling his knees and that kind of stuff. And if I don't pull off too bad, but the thing is, what happens is when I look up and this tilts, and then it does like that. So what I have to physically feel is that I'm looking at the ball and making myself feel like I'm making this turn. And then when I make the turn, I just come down and through, and then I finish up. Because when I finish and most of my weight goes forward, I know I'm going to hit a good ball. It's when I finish and I'm either flat-footed or back, it's just like, oh my gosh, come on, man. That's funny, I am. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Let's see. There we go. That's who it was. All right, now I know who it is, Charlie. Okay, take credit if you're doing well. No. I am also. There you go. RSG, I'm in the woods too much to worry about sunscreen. I'm also in Canada. Sounds good, Jim. Well, I tell you what, man, we visited Canada twice now, and one was in Vancouver, and we went up into the mountains where they had the Olympics. And I'm here to tell you, there was snow 6 foot tall, and you could have walked around in shorts and been comfortable until you fell into the snow. It was I've never seen anything like that, and I guarantee you would have needed sunscreen for that place. Wow, no kidding, right there. Prayers are sent. There you go. Well done. Yeah, the mini driver. That's what I am weak when it comes to Titleist equipment names, but yep, that's it. Which Denali shaft do you prefer, red, blue, or black? There's a really huge difference. I've been looking at the shaft. There are, right? There are. So if you look right behind me, I'm trying to find them. right about there. Right about there, right there. Those are Denali. So Denali blues are what you're going to see. Or I'm sorry, Denali blacks are what you're going to see in a lot of golf clubs. They may be painted to a different one. The Denali blue, which is behind me, is a much more stable club. And when I put it in golf clubs in comparison, I really do get better results. If you're looking at the aftermarket, I would look at the blue. Just trying to see. Yeah, it's this one right here. This one I like. It doesn't seem to be too flimsy. It doesn't seem to be too stiff. I think it's, although I'm sure they say it's not right down the middle, but I think that it is. And they all come in the same 60, 6.0, that kind of stuff. But I would look at that one. I like the blue. That one's the one I like. Thank you, Jim, a.k.a. Mr. Vergos. We can drop ship. There we go. Now she's into it. Jimmy, have you had experiences with the new Odyssey Stroke Lab putters with the red graphite shafts? Purchased the number 11 with mixed results. Well, the answer is yes, Jeb. The new Stroke Lab putters are actually all steel. Those are the first generations. Actually, sorry, second generations. Yeah. They're not too bad. The number 11's so a couple of things when it comes to putters, James, is the number one is the proper length, and so you can see the putt. The length is actually is corresponds to the being able to see the putt. So I'd have somebody stand behind you and see if you're not over the ball. Right, and because that does happen, it's really hard to assess from yourself or too far back. One or the other. So if you're too far over the ball, then you can stand up a little bit more, or grip to the top of the putter, something along that lines. Or if you're too far back, you can just do the opposite and grip down and maybe bend over a little bit more so you can see it. That being said, once that's done, you got to wonder whether or not, then you have somebody see whether or not the putter is doing like this on there so you can get that putter flat. That is not massive critical, but it makes it easier to make the putt without dipping the toe or anything like that, okay? The second part of this is it balanced the way that you swing? Now, the 11 would come in various neck options. Man. Would have various neck options. One is the double bend, which is a face balance, fits a lot of golfers. The other one would be a Z neck, which it's a toe dangle. Man, is a toe dangle type face, and that's for a guy that's straight back, straight forward, but tends to open the club and then shut it coming back. Okay, those are the two most popular ones. I think maybe the 11. I'm trying to think if it came. I don't think it came with a plumber's neck. So there's probably the two biggest ones, and maybe even a center shaft. And that one. And then the last bit of it is the grip size so that you're not flipping. Okay. Now we'll say this. This is a pro tip from a fitter. I am seeing a truckload of this when I fit putters. Or this. When they putt like that. Okay. I'm seeing a lot of that lately, and every time. And what happens is when that finger's putting, and it's like this, and what happens is exactly that. Instead of going through like this happens. And so if you're missing the ball to your inside a lot, and you've got that finger out, get rid of it. All right, I'm here to tell you. I know it feels solid, and I know it feels like you're helping yourself. In a lot of cases, you really are not. Okay? And you really, really are not. Get rid of it. All right? Okay. Oh, and the 11 is very, very, it's big. It's got a high MOI. But if it depends on where you're missing from, James. And that would be the thing I would be looking at. Manual, yes, the Taos Mini driver and new 3+ wood. I have the Elite 13.5 with the green cogs set at 11.5 and the 16.5 21 smoking clubs. There you go. The green cog. I'm surprised. Man, way to go, dude. Well, you are a Callaway guy though, so that makes sense. The green cog, is that the green cog's flatter, right? Is that flatter and stronger? So they got a standard cog, they got a green cog, and they got a red cog. The green, they only used to have the green one, but they've introduced the red one. One's flat and stronger, and the other one is, I think, upright. And I'm not sure if it gets stronger or not either. Let me know. Let me know, Emmanuel, because I always forget about those. All right, Jim, your driver is a Callaway, and your Mini driver is a Callaway. You could cut down the Shogun shaft and install it in the Mini. Well, yeah. You suck, Charlie, for putting that in my head. Oh no, it's in my head. We'll have to see. That will be something. That will be something to try. Robin said the same thing. She says, "Yeah, just put it in there. It's the same length." I said, "No, not the same length, but maybe if I choke down." Click, 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 click. That's funny.
I told you that yesterday. You just don't listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
I did. Make sure you told me.
And I just said it while you were walking around here to prove a point.
I haven't heard it yet.
That's because you're on a lag, but I just got done saying it.
Lag. Okay, and also
Quit lagging.
there's something else.
What?
It'll come to me.
Okay. I know a couple of things. Yes, you do. One or two. The lady sang the same song, but I can't remember her name. I remember her name only because I remember seeing it on the Sirius XM. Teresa Brewer. Teresa Brewer. That was her name. I wonder if she did any more.
Oh, that's what it was. It came to me.
What?
Green as Hulk.
Green as Hulk. For what?
The cog.
What's Hulk mean?
Hulk means green. Means strong.
That means it makes a stronger lofts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hulk.
Green as Hulk, Robin is telling me. And it means for stronger lofts. We'll see.
Give me the fist bump because I looked it up just the other day.
Okay, there you go. All right, I'm trying to place it here too. At least I got you there. All righty. I'm a lot closer to Alaska than Vancouver. We get 6 feet of snow, but it's definitely not warm. Oh, really? Yeah, the Vancouver is a whole different area. I saw Vancouver was actually more akin to the kind of temperatures I'm used to down here. That's cool. George, is kind of funny because they have in Vancouver itself, they have a golf course it's a Muni that's labeled McCleary, and it's spelled the same. I played there with a lawyer and a doctor, if you can believe that, or no, a doctor and a money market manager. And it was funny. It was great time to play with these guys. It was so unique, and it's not every day that you can go into a parking lot of a municipal golf course and walk by a roached out single, no extra addition cab and an 8-foot bed truck, and then be sitting 2 spots away from a Lambo. I never seen anything like that. That was just so cool. George says, that's too cold. Teresa Brewer, there you go. Our Google's working just fine, right? Charlie, it's a thumbs up. Robin says, hey, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up so we get these likes going. You want us to cut our fingers off? No, we're not necessarily that much. A new white one. Green is -2, red is flat, and white is upright. I heard. So it started raining, so that means it's getting ready to cool down. And we've gotten an extra 20 minutes in, and we got to the very end. So very cool for us. Okay, guys, so watch out for that video that's coming out about what's in my bag and how we were playing out there on the 9 holes. And again, watch out for that heat. Say a little prayer for those folks in Texas and for Emmanuel and for Michael. And as always, guys, again, I'm going to put a shameless plug in for my other channel, Pars and Pours. if you would go out and check that out and subscribe for me, and we'll start the Ryder Cup soon. And as always, let's see your scores go low.